guys, so we're back again. If any of you caught last week's video, the shadow people thing, I think we were both kind of unsatisfied with that.
Absolutely.
I think it wasn't what we wanted.
Well, now we've had some time to brew over it. Today is April the 3rd, so tomorrow is Easter. So happy late Easter to you, because you won't see this for another 2 weeks. If you're new to the channel, I'd like to invite you to go ahead and hit the subscribe button and hit the like button on this video. If you've been here for a while, we really do appreciate you. I do want to remind you guys that we do have merch available. You can go to fringetoast.com and click on our store, a little button deal, and it'll take you to where you can find merchandise to help support the show. Also, I wanted to let you know that we've got a TikTok now.
It's new. We're working on one.
It's active. We've got 4 videos so far. So I mean, and in all actuality, I don't know what to expect from that. The platform is so brand new. You don't know what is success. What is success? I'll tell you what. I feel like it's a successful start.
Oh yeah. It's a great marketing campaign is what it is, in my opinion.
Right. And if you are here because of what you've seen over at over the TikTok, thank you very much for following us over there. If you haven't already began following us, go ahead and do that. I hope that can be a platform where we can kind of delve into other topics that maybe aren't so structural, so to speak. Where over here, of course, there will be clips and stuff like that from the podcast.
Oh, yeah, obviously.
But I think it would also be a good place for us to post stuff on various topics that we just run into throughout the day, throughout the week or whatever. I got rid of that app entirely and did so with a purpose for a long time. And then Matt brought me kicking and screaming.
So my wife kept showing me the damn videos from it, and I'd never touched anything with it. And then the thought came that it's a great way to market YouTube stuff. So I started the Fringe Toast one, and now, yeah, I'm addicted too.
Right.
I'm bad. But there's so much cool. Speaking of that, also, I want to put up there, send us videos, send us pictures, videos, anything you can find. We've got an email account. It's fringetoast13@gmail.com. Send us everything you find. We'll put it up here. We'll put it there. We'll put it everywhere because we want opinions. We want to know all the shit, all the stuff.
Yeah, and anytime you guys send us a video or something like that, it's a very cool opportunity for us to do kind of a reaction kind of take, which I have fun with. Getting the spur of the moment kind of reaction from either myself or from you is gold.
Oh yeah, definitely.
To me, because you don't have time to process that kind of thing. Like it's instant. Like you're finding out what this person thinks like on their feet.
Yep.
But aside from all that, it's time for us to dive back into for part 2 of the shadow people.
The shadow people, dude. Okay. Well, let's take a side street real quick. I just finished listening to Pennyroyal.
Yeah.
Amazing. Mm-hmm. Amazing. But the very last episode, they said something that was messing with my head, and when I realized what they were saying, I was like, "Oh, that makes sense." The spider web thing, where you can go in and out of time once you get that mastery of magic, was cool. But then it was the idea of when you look at something, it starts looking back at you, and then as it becomes aware that you're looking at it, you see it more. Because now it knows you're watching it, and now it wants you to be aware that it knows that you know you're watching it. And that messed with my head, because I will be honest, the 3 weeks or 2 weeks or whatever long it's been we've been researching shadow people, I'm seeing them everywhere.
What?
All the fucking time, man. All the time. No shit. I was at work in my office, and I was downstairs in the kitchen, and a person walked by the window. There was nobody there. I went and checked the parking lot. Nobody got in a car. Nobody opened the doors to come in the building. Nothing. It creeped me the fuck out because...
Well, I would imagine.
It was, yeah, the shadow people thing, man. And I'm seeing it all the time.
So What do you? I mean, I guess we're going to dive deeper into some theories and whatnot, but
That was the plan. I don't know. And that's what's killing me.
But you're full fledged. Like, I'm all in. This is exactly. I've seen this.
Oh,
This
God,
is-
yeah. Yes, I know for a fact that's what it was. It met everything that I've been reading about him. It matched it perfectly. Perfectly. And the one that I love, I looked this up yesterday. So everybody out there is probably fully aware of this idea of shadow people being demonic. Everybody has this theory and this idea that they're just evil. They're just here for nefarious purposes, whether they're interdimensional, alien, ghost, whatever, right? That's a pretty standard theory, would you say?
Yeah, I mean, any just about anything that you see on a any kind of a paranormal show, if a shadow figure is involved, their immediate thought or they automatically begin shifting towards the fact that this is a demonic entity.
Exactly.
So,
But-
whether or not they're wrong or right, I don't
know. But I found a theory that I love, and it fits perfectly with what I've been seeing.
Okay.
So if you're a spirit, right, you're on the other side. We are all all of us who have done any kind of research into this, it takes a lot of effort and energy to manifest as a being.
Yes.
It would take less energy to manifest as a shadow because you don't have to have all the features. You can just be the black. You can take energy from the stuff that's already there and make that shadow, right?
Well, yeah.
Theoretically.
You don't have to. You're not. You don't have to produce anything to reflect light.
Yeah, exactly. So why aren't we looking at shadow people as just ghosts that are just manifesting this way because it's easier and not necessarily evil or bad? Because none of them that I've seen so far have had any sort of eerie or evil feeling to them at all.
Right, but you had, from the last time we recorded, you said there was two things that you said that kind of were staples. All right, one, they were accompanied with stress and anxiety and fear. Just because you're not experiencing that doesn't mean that it's not accompanied with that.
Sure, definitely.
On a regular basis. The other thing was, like you said, that it most often happens with abductees.
Abductee. Fun word.
Yeah. Sorry, hooked on phonics moment.
But I think
Do you think you've been abducted by aliens?
I don't think so necessarily. I do think as the more I get into this, the more I'm realizing that there was a lot of things. So I've got a lot of history in my family of people who are able to see the other side, if you will. I've got aunts and uncles and all these people that I'm finding out now as I do more of this research. Oh yeah, when I was a kid, I used to have a ghost in my house all the time that would come and visit, and just all these stories of things that I didn't know about my family.
Oh, so since you started doing this show, then that kind of thing is...
Yeah, because everybody in my family is overly religious, like crazy religious. And so if you admit that you've seen these things in normal circles, you're like ostracized because it's not a thing at all. They don't believe in it at all.
Well, I come from a pretty religious background too, but I think that ultimately the majority of the people in my family are open to the idea that there's not. I don't know if they waver towards the idea of like it being a paranormal, like that word paranormal is typically to do with spirits and ghosts and whatnot, but in all actuality, it's just abnormal. But the occurrences like UFOs, Bigfoot, stuff like that, they're typically, I mean, all in all, they're all pretty open to the idea of the concept of strange things happening. I mean, things that can't be explained. And I think it would be, silly to sidestep and say that these things don't exist, because there's no humility in that statement.
Yeah, right.
There's this man thinking that he's figured out everything, or that we have the ability to figure out everything. Then maybe one day we do have a an analysis on this and can put a name on this phenomenon, but I think it's a fun topic to talk about because of the fact that we don't have a very good answer for it.
There are no right answers, so that's what makes it so fun.
So I read some of the stuff that you shared with me on this topic. As a matter of fact, it may have even been the article that you were just referring to, but the lady was constantly throughout the article was saying there's nothing to be scared of. You shouldn't be afraid.
Yep.
There's nothing that you can do to stop someone from being afraid. Is what I want to say to this writer.
Absolutely.
Fear is sometimes it's not based on anything. Maybe it's not based on in logic, but fear itself is a legitimate thing that someone should be able to express. And I don't think anybody should look down on okay, so there's no reason why somebody should be looked down upon because of the fact that they are afraid of these things. Or,
oh yeah.
So yeah, I think that maybe she was wrong in saying there's nothing to be afraid of, because A, we don't know that there's not something to be afraid of.
True enough.
And B, there's no controlling when you're afraid of something.
So I get what you're saying. I think what it was referring to, and the only reason it kind of hit me this way is because I'm sure you guys remember, I know we remember our conversation with the Metaphysical 3.
Yeah, there we go.
I talked to Kat the other day because we're trying to schedule another episode with them. But I talked to her the other day about stuff my daughter's been seeing. And what she said echoed what the woman in the article said, which is basically, you have all the power. You're the one alive. You're the one who's supposed to be in this realm. You have all the power here. And I think that's kind of what that article was referring to is, yeah, it's scary because you're seeing this thing that shouldn't be there, right? Nobody expects a shadow to just start moving. And when it does, mess with your head, right? So you're going to be a little bit scared, but you've got to remember, you've got all the power here. All the power. You hold all the cards.
Right. Well, it's sometimes it may be difficult to remember that in the spur of the moment situation.
No, definitely.
I think also in that same article, she kind of wanted to make people shy away from the idea of asking these spirits or aliens, whatever they may be, asking this thing to get out of your space. And I don't think that's right either. I think if you are afraid or if you are uncomfortable in those situations, you should, in fact, try to take steps, whatever those steps may be, because the question mark about how to get rid of that kind of thing is still, it's up in the air. Like, yeah. I've heard people say, put salt around the building, put salt around your room, lay some salt down and that'll get rid of them. But I don't know. But I think that if you are uncomfortable in a situation like that, you should feel free to try to put space. I don't want to say exercise because that implies that there is this demonic force. But you should it should be supported, the idea that someone wants to put space between themselves and something else that makes them uncomfortable.
Oh, totally. Yeah.
In that article, it just felt like she was trying to make a case for not getting rid of these.
Yeah.
And like, hey, why don't you start up a conversation with them? What if it is a demonic entity?
What if it is, right?
I don't want to have a conversation with a devil.
I see. Part of me says I do. I think there's, but I agree. I think ultimately you just don't do that because you don't know what you're getting into.
We got no business together,
right? But I think there's something fascinating in peering into something that is pure, the opposite, pure hate, evil. I don't know. I think there's just something fascinating about that idea.
To be fair, I would feel the same way about an angel.
Yeah, definitely. Right. Yeah. Wholeheartedly.
I don't have any.
No. It's yeah.
The only thing I think that in the world of paranormal, the only thing that I could think of that I would be interested in having an interaction with, maybe an extraterrestrial, if possible. because there is a theory there that those are like just like probes, so to speak, like we sent to Mars. They just looked humanoid or organic in nature. But
I say we're getting a little off topic, which isn't unusual at all. So actually, I did have a question for you. I know when we did the paranormal hunt with Fox Family, did you see anything there? I know I saw something there that I want to talk about, but did you see any shadow people, or have you seen shadow people?
Okay, so the only thing that I can kind of put into that box was something that happened to me on the other side of town here. We were living in a house that we later found was like an old funeral home. But I was sitting in the kitchen with my dad, and I was facing him, and I seen something looking through the back window. There's like a square shaped window on the back door. And I seen something look through there. I immediately got up and went to go investigate. There was nothing there.
Oh, that's cool.
That's the only thing, though. But that wasn't the only paranormal experience we had in that house. There was my dad experienced things on a regular basis. We can talk about that a little bit more in detail off camera, but. I think my brother even experienced some things. That's also the home that we were living in when I witnessed the car disappear in the middle of the road.
Yep, I remember that story.
I was under the influence at the time. I was not under the influence at the time that I seen this thing in the back window, though.
So you were under the influence of and you saw the guy in the
I was not. Yes, I was under the influence whenever the car disappeared. We were in that same home when I witnessed this thing in the back window, but I was not under the influence at that time. And interestingly enough, Pop, if you're watching this, he reminded me of this after watching that first episode. He was like, "You don't remember that other time? You don't remember seeing the guy in the back door?" Because he experienced a lot of stuff in that house. But those are stories for a different day.
Yep.
So that's it. Really.
So you didn't see the one at the Chaos Haunted House that as we're walking up the stairs from the cinder block room, and you turned right, there was that big open room where we did the interview. And I swear to God, as we walked up that, I saw a figure. It was taller than me, move into the shadow from the left to the right. Which is why I bolted in there, because I'm like, I don't know what that is, but it's moving in there and I want it.
Oh, no. I didn't see that.
You didn't see that? Oh, man. And then it crawled up the wall and onto the ceiling. And we found that cold spot.
Oh, well, I do recall you, like, chasing this thing, and you were experiencing a temperature difference anytime that you tried to interact with this thing. But... I didn't experience. That was about the same time, though, that while you were in there doing that, that's about the same time that I was standing kind of in a hallway, and I heard someone say hello in my ear, my right ear. And I asked, hey, I asked, Michelle was standing right next to me. I was like, what do you want? Like, hey. And I told her what had happened, and she immediately went through and started asking people, if anybody had said hello to.
Yeah.
But, no, I didn't experience anything there.
So I'm wondering though on these shadow thingies.
So you've had you said you've seen multiple?
I've seen multiple
since the last time we recorded.
There's one that I keep seeing in the corner of my bedroom
where Trixie is like, ooh, ooh.
Yeah, that same spot where she was having a freak out over something. I've seen one in there. So I've also seen ones that don't turn out to be anything because I've debunked them myself. The kids taped all their pictures to the fireplace downstairs. Mm-hmm. They were flapping in the breeze, and it looked like a head moved by one of them. And then I'm watching, and I saw what it was. It was that damn picture, and it curled out. So Some of them I've been able to debunk. You would be proud of me. I haven't believed them all.
Well, I am very proud of you, actually. Maybe he is starting to develop a little bit of a skepticism. I'm very proud to hear that you looked into it a little bit further than just the seat at the.
But that's not any fun to me. It's really not.
No, I get it. It's not fun to find out that you thought something spectacular was happening, and then all of a sudden it's just the pictures are flapping. But so, out of the ones that you've seen, what do you think you're witnessing?
I honestly, I just think they're glimpses into the other side. I think that's what it boils down to from what I've experienced. And I will say this, the office that I work at right now is literally next door to like one of the biggest funeral homes in Noonan.
Oh, really?
So it's like right there.
Okay.
So I've got theories on that stuff too, but we won't talk about that right now.
Well, it wasn't George Norrie, and it ain't Coast to Coast. But my name's Bobby, and that's Matt, and you've been served Fringe Toast.